Hi, everybody, and welcome to Sister Friend Podcast. We are here today doing something very different. It's not, usually it's just me and my sister or me and another guest, but we have quite a few guests here. And they're not women either. So, I guess we can go around the table and y'all can introduce yourself. If you want to share your social media, you can share your social media. Obviously, I'm here with my sister, Shon. And then I guess we can go from the right all the way down.
How you doing? I'm Ryan. You can follow me on Instagram at block_spinner.
Block.
Yes. BLOCK_SPINNA.
Block is doing anything. Yes. Fitness.
Anything.
What's up, guys? My name is Omar. You can follow me on Instagram at Nappyhead 4Ds.
Most people don't know this, and I'm just put it out there, but he got his name from my mama. Like, you know, my mama used to call him Nappy Head, and it just stuck.
It stuck. Definitely. Literally.
Literally.
And I'm Darshell, and I don't have a form to be followed on.
Oh, okay. For people who don't know, that's my daddy. We just needed an old soul on here, y'all, to bring some wisdom
and some knowledge.
He's definitely been doing that so far now.
Okay, so today we just gonna have an open discussion because we started a brief conversation and we got on the subject of being a provider and how things should be split when men and women are dating. So I guess the easiest way to start off is for us to just go by the definition of a provider. And a provider is a person or a thing that provides something. A supplier, a donor, a giver, a breadwinner, typically referred to as the man of the home. Now, the question is, in this day and age, do you think that men should still be 100% the provider, or should everything be 50-50? I guess we can go around and express our opinions about it. Tashawn, what you think?
I actually don't believe in the whole 50-50 thing. I'm solely stuck on, it call me old fashioned, but I'm solely stuck on the man being the provider. If I had the choice not to work, I probably wouldn't work and just stay at home and be a homemaker. But nowadays, that's not something that's really the norm. And basically, I guess you could say I'm the number one breadwinner. I provide for my kids. I provide for myself.
Okay, so Ryan, what you think about dating? Should it go 50-50?
No, I don't believe in 50-50. I think everything should be 100 between both parties.
So
both people should bring their all into the situation, regardless. We shouldn't have to split, divvy. Hey, you cover the bill today, and I'm cover this tomorrow. That situation should not have to occur.
See, my question is, are we talking about like when you're courting a woman, or when you guys are already in somewhat type of a situation?
Well, right now, let's just talk about the dating.
That's the dating part?
Yeah.
Okay, so
is dating and courting considered the same thing? Because in my day, we called it courting.
Courting, yeah.
So now people look at dating as something less than courting, or what?
Well,
nowadays, I wanted to know, because I feel like dating and court, in my opinion, just off of how me and Tashana were taught, because we may have been raised separately by our parents, but you were very intentional in how you wanted us to recognize how we should be treated by men if we decide to get in a relationship with them. So I use courting and dating unanimously.
Okay.
So I don't see a difference between the two, but some people do.
Yeah, some people feel like, I guess I guess the courting part would probably be maybe like the first 1 or 2 dates to express your interest, and then the dating would be like later on, like down the line, like
once
okay,
you
we
get into an actual relationship.
Well, not an actual relationship, but when you get to the point where like you just solidify, like okay, we're on to something, like we're gonna make something happen.
Okay.
I guess.
But
I
now
guess.
even dating is kind of like outdated.
That's what I'm saying.
We talking.
Exactly.
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 So what's the levels then?
I mean, I look at it like now, like okay, if I'm expressing interest in a woman, I'm gonna try to court her. So I'm gonna be like, okay, well, let's go out to dinner. Let's get to know each other, one another. And then once we establish that both of us have an interest, then we'll continue to talk and the date, and eventually, I mean, even throughout that whole period, though, I'm still, I guess you could say, courting.
Right, in a sense, but nowadays, when you're establishing that type of connection and that bond, women are aggressors too. So instead of you always asking, hey, let's do this, let's do that, women are asking you now, like, hey, you want to do this, you want to do that. So just because she asks you and she might want to take you out, you're supposed to say, hey, because I'm a man, I'm supposed to provide for you. It's all right. I got it.
Oh,
that's why you say it should be 100% either way.
It should be.
Either way, like if my woman wants to do for me, I'm not feeling like, no, I got it. If you want to do something for me, do it.
You could.
You want to show your appreciation, and I feel the same way. Like if I want to do for my woman, I'm gonna do for my woman.
I think that's different though, because personally, me, like, I don't care if I invite you. If it's a date, then you need to be held responsible. Yes, you are held financially responsible. You are held responsible for what time I get home. You are held responsible for what happens to me while we are out.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it. I feel like there is a difference between casually dating and courting, but based on, like, regardless of what the premise is, like, if it's just casual or if we serious about something, I don't care if I say, hey, let's go to the movies.
You paying for it.
You paying for it. Like,
and I agree.
I
agree
feel
with
like
that.
if we're in a relationship, there will be times where I will treat you, but for the majority, like, I'm not going.
You gotta prove yourself out here.
Yeah, yes, and
really,
I'm not
that's
like point blank period. Just to put a play on words of what Drake said. I'm not going 50-50 with no nigga. Like, that's it. If you can't,
but
like, the whole point is.
But see, what interrupts that also is now you got women that's like kind of, I guess
they want the 50-50.
Well, no, they don't want the 50-50. They want everything that you're saying. The courting, like if let's go to the movies, I'm like, you still gonna pay type stuff, but they're not. They're doing that with multiple.
Oh, I get what you're
saying. It's like and in some instance I could kind of understand when like a brother is like trying to talk to to a girl, and she's talking to multiple dudes, and if she asks you, oh, you want to go out to the movies,
I'm not a sucker.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not a free meal.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to feel played in a sense where it's like, hey, just bring me some food or let's go get something to eat.
Yeah.
You want to establish some type of connection with these people, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's what I'm saying. Financials aside, it's not about paying for dinner. It's like a mutual respect between two parties.
Mm-hmm.
When you come into a situation like that, there's nothing wrong with paying for anything, no matter who's asking.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of city girls out here.
But the thing is, nowadays, like, people don't even have that conversation up front. It's like both of y'all just end up finessing each other.
I mean, it has to be a mutual understanding.
Hold up. Let me say this right. For one thing, anytime that you start talking about men and women, I think 50-50 is absurd.
Yeah.
Number one. But let me throw a monkey wrench in this. The real problem is society dictates too many trends in homes and families. See, people do things publicly, and it develops into a trend that moves through society like cancer moves through a body. Mm-hmm. And that's very dangerous because things can be made popular amongst people by the wrong people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if we start following trends that take us into women that are having, multiple men at one time. In fact, anytime that you have a situation in a home where a woman feels that it's okay to go out and sample the wares, that's a problem. Because when you really start looking at it, men are looking for a woman to marry, and the thing should be that if the man is not looking for a woman to marry, then he should be treated like the plague. We kind of deal with these situations so differently now because the trends says that it's okay. It's okay for us to just date liberally. It's okay for us to have multiple partners. We've gotten to a place where sex has become casual and not at all spiritual.
I don't believe in casual sex. But, okay, but didn't back in the day, like, girls had multiple courting partners regardless? I mean, there were more formal rules in it as far as, like, being chaperoned and all that stuff like that. But didn't women have, like, multiple men that she courted, and he was still held responsible for her well-being?
It was a time when a woman could date more than one guy, but what you got to understand is at that time virtue was supreme. There was no way that you were gonna get into a casual sex situation with a young lady. Either her parents would chase you off with the shotgun, or she would chase you off literally. But again, the trends have gotten us away from those type of relationships, so now it's kind of like a free-for-all.
Well, a lot of times guys just feel it's just like Omar was saying, like before. Now we have it in a space where these girls are basically just playing off of what they can get from each man, and at this point, the guys feel like they being played for a sucker.
It's almost praise. Yeah. Literally, like in this day and age,
that's the trend.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I trying to say? So I think people forget that in the whole dating process, just like you said, a man is trying to look for a wife. No, but I'm saying,
that's true.
I'm saying, like, we know that people have other agendas, and sometimes people just strictly want things to be casual, but the original idea of courting was that you were looking for a mate, correct?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so people get away from the idea that in dating, you are supposed to prove to me that you are able to provide in some way.
We're supposed to win you over.
And then once we come together, it's not just you serving me. At this point, we're serving each other because I have my duties as your wife. But the whole thing is, like, we've gotten away from that, and now these niggas feel like I give you something, you got to give me something, and I'm not for that.
I'm not these niggas. I just want to make that clear.
Well, there's when you see these type of things, there's a cause for that.
It is,
and the cause is the breakdown of the family. When you think about a man in the home, he has his wife and he has his children. A man in the home with his children is totally different from a man across town away from his home with children. Because I don't care how much you love your children. It's just like in the animal kingdom. The lion has a territory. And he has his pride.
Don't use a lion as the example.
Yeah, I'm going to use a lion as the example.
He got multiple wives.
It doesn't matter about that. The reason that I'm using the lion because the lion has a pride, and usually it's square miles. So when he's tracing the perimeter of his territory, the pride is unprotected by him. So as much as he cares for his cubs and his pride, if a threat comes in his absence, there's absolutely nothing he can do about it. So the situation when you get multiple homes that function as a lion pride, you're away from the home. So you can talk about how much co-parenting you want to do. The absence of that man creates a void that sometimes can be tampered with. And once you tamper with that family enough, you're going to be able to pluck a cub or two out of there.
So you think the absence of men in the home have something to do with the dynamic of dating right now?
It definitely
does.
It absolutely
plays a
does.
huge
Yeah, it
role.
does.
Definitely.
For real?
Yeah, the breakdown of the family structure definitely